Alright, today we're going to discuss how we go about attaching the head that we model separately from the body. And as you can see in this file, I already imported my head and my hand, and I kind of already moved them in place and scaled them. Again, I'm making sure that this body is somewhere around 5'7" to 6 feet. All right. Another thing that you can do to kind of make sure that your body is proportional. Usually, the ideal body is about 8 heads tall, so you can kind of make copies of your head and see how whether your body it's the right height or not. But when it comes to attaching separate geometry like this, I guess the idea is to make sure that both edges here have the same amount of geometry. So first thing you do before you even combine the geometries, I guess, to kind of have an idea of how many edges you need to combine. And sometimes the process of counting edges just by is kind of a little confusing depending on how you're looking at this. So let's see, make sure you have if you go to heads up display and go to poly count, you're gonna have this pop up on your viewport. Alright, and this usually tells you how many edges you selected on the last row. So this is telling me that I have 9 right here. Alright, and I can do the same with my body. Again, if it makes it easier for you to select the edges and count them as you select them in, that's fine. But I'm just going to keep this on as reference. And now I can tell that the difference between the edges on the body and the head, it's about 2 edges. So again, I have 2 options. I can either reduce the topology of my head or add topology to my body. And again, this body is so simple that it probably is just easier if I actually add a little bit of topology here. And I need to add 2 edges, so 1 division can do the job. So it kind of really depends on where I want to do this. Probably, and I think what I ended up doing in the final model is that I ended up moving these edges a little bit to the side, because again, I probably don't want to have faces that are this large. And then I added another loop here. So let me start by doing that. So I'm going to select this row right here. Maybe to here or here. And again, I don't want to use my standard move tool to move these. I want to go into my edit mesh and go to slide edge tool. So it's sliding across the normal. Alright, so it's not deforming my geometry way too much. Now I'm going to select these edges and do the same. Now, one of the things that you need to keep in mind when you're modeling bodies like this is that you need to understand what, or have an idea what your end result's going to be, or at least what it's for. So for instance, I know that this character is eventually going to have clothes on, and my eventual aim for this is to have a fully rigged character that I can animate and simulate clothes on and stuff like that. So since it's going to be covered, the body is not something that I want to be too concerned with. If this is a body that's going to be seen naked for medical reasons and stuff like that, you do want to go in here and add more detail to this. Again, for the purposes of this project, I don't need to go any further as far as detail with the body. But if I, and again, it just kind of all depends on the final aim. So when you're working on a project like this, you're just gonna have to keep that in mind. And again, at the end, I'm just choosing to do something like this because it just kind of keeps the geometry a lot simpler for the rigging process. Alright, so I moved these edges to the side, and again, I kind of made some space here. And I'm going to be using my interactive split tool. I don't want to select all these edges because, again, I have fluent geometry, so it's actually going to go all the way across. And if I add a division here, it's not going to go up to 9 edges here at the top. It's going to go up to 11. So again, the idea is that I want to have 9 and 9 here. So I need to add a cut here somewhere, but I don't want it to affect any other areas. And the reason why I don't want to add any more here is because if I subdivide, I don't want to have any crazy sharp edges that that might be difficult to deal with later. So at this point, I just move my edges to the side. I'm going to go into my interactive split tool. Alright, if it makes it easier for you, you can isolate this so you're not concerned with what's happening with the head at this moment. And again, we just want to add an edge right here, and I'm going to be using the interactive split tool. Alright, and I definitely have more room to move these edges too, so I'm definitely going to be pushing that a little bit, because otherwise, again, these might be a little bit too close. This is going to give me a little bit of sharpness that I might not want in my model. So I want to go maybe somewhere here. This kind of seemed like a big polygon here. Alright, and I'm just going to finish my cut here. So one of the things that are happening here is that we just created an angle on here, a 5-sided polygon, and again, we don't really want to have these in our model because they can either create some weirdness in our topology or pinches and stuff like that. So that means that we need to go in here and turn this into a 4-sided polygon. So again, to do this, very simple. I'm going to go back to my interactive split tool, see if this works. I'm going to connect here, here, and here. Alright, and then I'm going to go in here and get rid of this edge right here. Alright, and now I have, rather than one 4-sided polygon, I have 3. So if I go up to my edge here, and I select all these, okay, it seems like I have 8. Alright, that means that I either need to add another polygon somewhere, or perhaps I could have just added a polygon that went all the way around the body here. And again, I'm pretty sure I didn't do that for my the last model. So I'm going to move on to another file where I already have that solution. Let's see. Let's move on to 3. Let's see what happened there. Again, I think at this point I'm already attaching the hand. Alright, so as you can tell in this body, I definitely did the same approach as far as adding another polygon here. And I either subtracted an edge from the face or added another polygon across the body. Let me go back to another version of this. Okay, selected. And again, it looks like I already did the work here. But the idea, again, once you have the extra polygon that you need and the edges are matching, the only thing you need to do it's go to mesh, and you just kind of need to combine them both. And again, let me just go back to the original so I can show that process. This is not the original. Alright, let's go back one more up. Probably helps if I don't have this subdivided. Again, I usually like to keep it smooth to just kind of see what my topology is doing. Seems to be slowing down my computer, so I just gonna turn that off. So again, the idea, once you have matching edges, is just basically select them both. You click combine, and then you probably want to start matching the topology that we have on the neck here. Taking the topology that we have from the neck here on the body to what's going on in the neck here, because it looks like it's flowing a little bit better. So it's just a matter of selecting the vertices and doing, I don't want to bridge them, I'd rather just merge those vertex. Alright, and just basically going all the way across and welding your edges. Alright. Now, and another thing that you want to keep in mind at this point is that you want to again have your body here kind of positioned strategically at 0, 0, 0. And again, because we later on going to be using this line right here to be able to center all of our vertices to where they need to be for the mirroring process. But for now, let me just move on to another version of the body. Just going to show the final full body. Okay, and I believe in this one I already have a foot as well. Alright, so you can tell that on this one I went in here and I already attached my hand here. I probably had to add some topology to my arm here to be able to attach them. I kind of used that topology to be able to kind of do a little bit of the finishing. Again, the having a lot of detail in my body right here is not really something that I'm aiming to do with this project, because the final aim is for this guy to be have clothes on and for a walk cycle. So a lot of the finishing of my body is not required. Same thing for the feet. Again, if you know your character is someone that is going to have, for some reason, their shoes removed or whatever, you want to go and follow the same process that we use for the hand and model a foot separately. And once you're done, just kind of, import it, or if you haven't seen, just scale it to the right proportion to the body, and then just attach the vertices. In this case, again, because my model is not going to be walking around barefoot, I just decided to go with a foot like this. You just kind of have to make those calls when you're working on a project. And it's just a simple foot that I'm going to be able to, again, it's going to be able to kind of bend the way it needs to bend for when we're doing foot rolls and stuff like that. Alright, so that covers how you go about attaching different parts of the model. And again, I went in here and added a little bit of detail to my body. Not necessarily for this type of project, but you have to make that decision kind of early on, and just kind of move on to different things, and it just kind of depends on your deadline and stuff like that. Alright, so this concludes the video on how you go about attaching pieces of geometry that you create in separate files, or created separately, and then just kind of attaching to one body to create a full body.